Ms. Sheila K., thank you for joining us today. I'm excited about talking about Ouachita Green with you.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm excited. It's a good opportunity to get our name out, our word out, and what's happening.
So, for our listeners that are not watching on video, but thinking that we're actually on the radio, we're not actually on the radio anymore. You actually switched careers from being on the radio. I think I saw where you started in radio at 17.
Mm-hmm.
Tell
Don't
me
do the
about.
math.
I'm not going to do the math on that one, but tell me about starting in radio from 17. Man, that's some. I mean, how did that come about?
Well, I was a senior in high school, and my dad looked at me and goes, "What are you going to do?" And I'm like, "I don't know. My job is to go to school." And so I had been in some contest and all, and he said, "What about radio?" Okay, I can try that. That sounds fun. So I went to my local radio station and I said, I'd like to buy some time, 15 minutes, and I'd like to talk about my area high school. And the guy was like, Yeah, right. Now, you have to understand, I went to a small high school, 36 kids in my senior class.
Oh, wow, that is small.
15 minutes to talk about 36 kids. And so I went out, I sold it, I produced it, I got the guest, and it worked. And they were like, "Hey, would you like a part time job?" And I was like, "Yes, I would." And so that's how it started.
So, back in the days, we're not going to do the math, but how much did 15 seconds of radio cost?
No, 15
Oh,
minutes.
15, yeah, excuse me, 15
Yeah,
minutes.
15
How much
minutes.
did 15 minutes of radio cost
They
back then?
charged me $50.
Okay, so I
Yeah,
mean,
a
it was.
week.
So when you did that, did you feel like they would ask you to come to work for them? I mean, was that kind of the goal?
That was the goal because I didn't want to go in and just say, "Hey, give me a job. I have no experience.
Right.
You don't know me." And so,
Very
worked my
smart.
way in.
Very smart. I think tactics like that today could actually work for any young professional that wants to get
Hmm.
involved in anything. So, where'd your career start, and kind of where have you been on the radio at?
Oakdale, Louisiana is where I started, and then Alexandria, and then I came to Monroe, and I've done some stuff in McGee, Mississippi, and just, mainly here because I moved here when I was 18 and been here ever since.
So I remember. I mean, so radio's definitely changed over the past several years. A lot of people are streaming a lot of music. I do a lot of
Hmm.
that in the
Hmm.
vehicle. Uh, but you were doing some early morning shows. So
Oh, yeah.
how was that like waking up at what time would you have to get to the
When I did
station?
talk radio, I got up at 3:30,
Holy
and it
cow.
was crazy because I had, two kids and a husband, and so when they went to bed, I went to bed.
Well,
Yeah.
it takes a special kind of person to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I used to tell my kids that my job was to wake up the sun. And they were like, "Well, what happens on the weekends?" I said, "Oh, we got people to do that."
So how did you make that transition from how did that come about from radio to being the director of Ouachita Green? Because we're talking like totally different spectrums here. So I mean, why'd you decide to make that shift?
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people call it Sheila K 2.0. And I was in the room, in the booth, talking to people in the community every day who are on the front lines. And my job was to tell the community what was going on. And I enjoyed it. It was great. But I thought, it's time to get out of the room and get out and do something. And I had worked with Stuart Hodnett and Andy
Hmm.
Brown with Ouachita Green, and they did a great job. And I saw the difference it was making in our community, and I thought, I want to be a part of that. So here I am.
So when I saw the announcement, your name is well known in our community from radio. When I saw the announcement, I'm like, that's interesting. Then the next thing out of my mouth was, that's going to work. I mean, you take someone that is a great communicator and partner up with something that's definitely needed in our community. I think it's a recipe for success. I know that Stewart and the others, I believe Ouachita Green started back in 2010, and the impact that they have made within our community has been, I mean, fantastic. So some of the notable projects that I can remember, the 165 beautification, just all the landscaping they did. I think
Hmm.
like maybe from ULM all the way out to um, the former CenturyLink building or
Hmm.
CenturyTel
Hmm.
or Lumen,
Yeah.
whatever we're going to call that building, all the way out there. And I mean, it transformed, that whole strip through there
Mhm.
with the end caps of the flowers and the plants and all the trees that they
Mhm.
planted. Really was huge for our community. Then I think there was like maybe 60 live oaks that were planted by Ouachita Green
Mhm.
from Forsyth, that whole area.
It's amazing the
Beautiful.
difference. But when you think about if you go 165 south towards the zoo, they cleaned up the
Yes.
Tickle area. I mean, it made a huge difference in that landscape. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about how much increase in the zoo's attendance.
Oh,
And I
wow.
can't remember if it was 5 or like 10% increase. And when you clean up and hey, company's coming. Let's look at it from different eyes. It's amazing the difference that Ouachita Green has made in our
I
community.
completely agree, and I think that there's a lot more that I know that you're going to be great with and see us through. Excuse me. Now, one of the things, the water sweep, do y'all do that twice a year or once a year?
Once a year, and it gets like 16,000 pounds of
Yeah.
garbage in
So
our
in
area.
2021, someone posted on the website, there was over three in that one occurrence. There was over 300 volunteers showed up
Mm-hmm.
for that one
Mm-hmm.
day, and it was like, I don't know, like 6.5 tons, almost seven
Yeah.
tons of trash that was picked up
Yeah.
from the Ouachita River, Bayou Desert, Black Bayou. Um, on one hand, it's impressive, but on the other hand, it's kind of defeating knowing that
Yeah.
we've got just that much trash. And I'm sure that was still just a drop in the bucket of what hasn't been taken
Mm-hmm.
care of. We're in sportsman's paradise, and when you litter or you allow litter to stand,
Mm-hmm.
it has an impact on the beautification, it has an impact on the environment. Now, I know Ouachita Green, green in the name, and the word green can get kind of political with
Mm-hmm.
people, but I don't think that's what Ouachita Green is about. It's not about
Yeah.
politics. It's about loving our community the best way we can by just keeping it clean.
Yeah, we are keep Ouachita Parish beautiful, keep Monroe beautiful, and keep West Monroe beautiful. And they were like, hey, let's all work together, which is a great idea to keep our area beautiful and clean and green means picking up,
Hmm.
maybe planting some trees or flowers, but let us see the green under the trash too.
So I think we all can recognize the fact that it does have an economic impact on our community. I saw an article in Bloomberg that was called "The Beauty Premium." It's how urban beauty affects cities' economic growth. And this study found that the more beautiful a city is, the more successful it is at attracting jobs, new residents, including highly educated and affluent jobs.
Oh, yeah.
It, it's kind of like you getting ready to trade in that vehicle. If you take that vehicle to get it valued and you just went down a red clay road, it's going to get less value than if you
Hmm.
would have cleaned it up before you took it there. So I know in Ouachita Parish, there's probably many reasons that we have litter issues. But I think one of the easiest ones that we could probably take a hold of is going to be trash in your pickup truck. Um,
That's the number one litter right there.
Miss Marie with code enforcement, West Monroe. I don't think she's doing that anymore.
She
I'm not
retired, great
okay.
lady. She was great for our
So there was
community.
an impact that she made on me, and it just really opened my eyes. That when deer season rolls around, she said, just look at the number of deer corn bags that you're going to see on the
Hmm.
side of the road,
Hmm.
and that's just case in point. We live in the South. We have a lot of pickup trucks.
Hmm.
Just by making sure you clean the bed of your truck out, don't put anything in it trash related that could potentially blow out. We could have just a major impact in just the overall beauty of our community
Hmm.
by keeping the bed of your truck cleaned out. Would you agree
Yeah.
with
Oh
that?
my goodness. If somebody could come up with a trash container for the back of your truck, just think how much our community would get green and clean. And people don't do it on purpose. They just put it back there. Oh, I'll get it out when I get home. Well, it doesn't make it home.
It
Uh,
doesn't make it home.
yeah. And people litter where there is litter. Studies have shown if an area is littered, it's okay. Oh, what's one more thing?
Right.
What's one more? When people are there's not a trash can, people will litter. So, go when you get the corn, look around. Is there a trash can? Put the bag in there. There's all kind of things that you can do. Put it in the cab of your truck to take home.
Throw it away when
Yeah,
you get home.
yeah,
Just simple things. Before we started recording, I asked you what are some of the messages you want to get out. This podcast is possible because of your support of our real estate business. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I'm confident we have the tools and the processes to help you reach your real estate goal. For more information or to reach out to us, check out the podcast description for our contact info. One person taking a step of or a commitment that I'm not going to let a single corn bag fly out of the back of my truck is going to have an impact. And if that one person can share with one other person, we can have a huge impact. So would you say that just get involved, just do it is
yeah. It's simple. They say the average person, which is you and I, has 4 pounds of trash a day. Okay, 4 pounds of trash. If one part of that trash rolls out from me and from you and from everybody else, just think how dirty our community is. But if you make an effort, I make an effort, and there's lots of ways. Just it's funny because I was driving along and the 6-year-old was in the back seat, and she's like, "Oh, look at the litter along our road," and I thought, we're going to take care of that. Look around, you'll see it.
or even something just as simple as stop walking past that piece of paper on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Pick
Mm-hmm.
it up.
Mm-hmm.
Just pick it up. And I guess I've probably been guilty of that in the past of not really taking the time to just to stop. And it's not even having to go out of your way. It's just the stuff you walk past.
Yeah.
Just pick it up.
Yeah, and we have this new program, and we signed up with the libraries, all the libraries in Ouachita Parish. It's called Get Down to Clean Up, and you can go with an adult card and check out 10 grabbers, so you don't even have to touch it with your hands, gloves if you want them, vest, and some trash bags.
So talk to me a little bit more about that program. What's it called again?
Get Down to Clean Up.
So Get Down to Clean Up. That is sponsored by the libraries.
Well, we Keep Louisiana Beautiful sends out all the things that they need.
So Keep Louisiana Beautiful. That's a state initiative from the governor's office. That is it. The governor or lieutenant governor?
Lieutenant Governor.
Lieutenant governor's office. That is focused on. It's a community-based program to involve the community to give the tools that we need to get out and just clean up. Now, is it organized? So you mentioned that you have to go and check out the supplies. Is it organized to where you have to go to a certain area? Do we need to? If someone does it, should they report back on where
Sure.
they?
We would like to know what areas people are cleaning up, but also how many volunteers. Hey, you're teaching your kids, you're teaching your grandkids, you and your neighbors, you and your social group, your church got together, and let us know so we can say thank you, and let us know what area you cleaned up and how much you cleaned up. You will be amazed. It's crazy, and I'm tired of this. I'm gonna do something about it instead of complain. Anybody can complain. Get out there and change.
Do they? Does the program give kind of suggestions on where you should start cleaning up?
You can clean up anywhere. It does say, keep away from busy roads. Don't let the kids near the busy roads and things like that. But the whole idea is get out and do something. Try it. I think you'll like it and you'll love the results.
So I try to tell people when they complain about actions about stuff. I don't like somebody coming to me with a problem if they don't have a solution or willing to get involved in the solution. So one of the things I try to share with people that if you don't know where to start at your house.
Yeah.
And then from your house, start in your neighborhood. No matter what the problem is you're dealing with in life, if you want to change, be part of the change.
Yeah.
Just do it. Get out and
Yeah.
get involved. So the libraries, are all of the libraries in Ouachita Parish participating in this?
Yes, they are. And so that's just one of the things that is going on. There's a lot of things that you can do. Just get out and do it. We're encouraging you to be part of the solution. Tell your kids, hey, when you eating that banana and you finish with it and you throw it out the window, don't throw it out the window. Would you like that
Yeah.
in your yard? No. And it takes weeks for that to decompose.
Yeah, we sometimes think that, oh, well, this is just biodegradable. We can
Mm-hmm.
toss it out here. Birds will eat it, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. But it's just one more thing that's just going to compile into the bigger mess that, and it's not just our community that's faced with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Louisiana, it's a Ouachita Parish problem. It's a Louisiana problem. It's a national problem. There was a study, Keep America Beautiful, from 2020. This one kind of really hit me hard. There's more than 2,000 pieces of litter per mile,
Mm-hmm.
and that's either on your waterways or on the road.
Yeah.
2,000 pieces of litter per mile.
And it's cigarette butts, it's bottles, bottled water. We're asking people to, no, we all have to get some, bottled water sometimes, but use a refillable water bottle if you can. The kids are going back to school, and, the teachers are encouraging everybody to bring refillable water bottles. That's just some of the little things you can do.
Yeah, and if you are going to use stuff like that, is Ouachita Green involved in the recycling program?
Yes, we encourage recycling. You can take it to Merck in Monroe or the recycling center in West Monroe.
So I know a lot of communities across the U.S. and it's kind of weird hearing people that are moving from California here that have a lot of recycling laws and want to know kind of where do we get our recycling bins from. And for many years it's kind of been foreign to us, but my family started participating, and our biggest thing is cardboard, where we keep. Probably should do a little bit better with our water bottles because we drink a lot of that. But just little things by taking your cardboard. Back up a little bit. So my family, you talk about how many pounds of trash a day does somebody go through?
4.
I think my family is probably triple that, apparently,
You're
because
trashy people.
I guess so. It was getting to a point where, we're a family of 4, 2 small kids at home, so you wouldn't think they would have so many consumables. But at the point where we're fixing to have to go call the city and get us an extra trash can because we're overfilling. But when we started pulling our cardboard out, not putting our cardboard in, because I don't know if your house is like mine, there's a lot of boxes that show up at the door. My
Little
wife's
smile
like,
boxes.
Amazon or whatever, which we're getting back into shopping local, Shop
Right.
West,
Yes.
Shop Ouachita Parish. But when we decided to start taking those boxes, bring them down, and once a week or once every other week, we'll pile it up and take it to the recycle center. We noticed that, I don't have to go get a second trash can, because
Yeah.
that was going to cost me money to get an extra trash can delivered to the house. So, there is something to say for saving you money by just doing some of the small, simple things to be
Yeah.
able to push us down the road a little further. Now, Ouachita Green, so it's I know that you have I would assume you guys have a board that y'all work with, but it's you, right? Or do you
Well,
have some other?
our board is the Keep Monroe Beautiful, Keep West Monroe Beautiful, and Keep Ouachita Parish Beautiful are the ones that say, okay, this is what we want to do, make it happen. And so far, we're making it happen. There are so many things going on right now in our community. You were talking about businesses
Mhm.
and how the community, we really need to pick up. Years ago, I heard this story about this company who was going to build a business, and it was going to bring lots of jobs to our
Yeah.
area. They got off the plane, they drove them to the site, and they're like, nope, it's too trashy here. There's
Yeah.
no pride. It's dirty. We don't want to bring our employees here.
Yeah.
So we lost a lot of business.
Every time I hear that story, it's just like a gut punch. It
Yeah.
takes the wind out of your sails that we had an opportunity at recruiting. I think it was a manufacturing facility, and we blew it because we've got too much litter. We don't. It's kind of like in real estate, we refer to as pride of ownership. When you enter an area to where there's an imbalance of rental homes versus owner occupants, you start recognizing and seeing that pride of ownership because they don't own the property and they're not going to take care of it quite as well. And that's not every renter, so I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but it's that pride of ownership in a subdivision that you can see start going down. But the same thing is true with our community. If we're not willing to do some of the basic things, and picking up trash and being responsible with your trash is basic. It doesn't take a ton of effort to do it. You just have to be purposeful with it. Would you say that's
Oh,
a great way of putting it?
definitely. And it starts with our kids. We have to educate our children. We have to educate our children. Don't throw things out the window. Look around. And it's funny now because when you talk to a kid one time, they see it, they get it. And so that's one of the things that we're going to do is educate our children. And you know, you have small children.
Hmm.
If your kids, I know the other day I was in the grocery store and I was pushing along and I got some Little Debbie snacks, and the 6-year-old goes, "Hey, we need fruits and vegetables." Little Debbie went back on the shelf. We went back to the produce aisle. It makes a difference. They teach us.
You're right, and so with that, I'm not taking my kids grocery shopping. I mean, apparently I like all that, but I get the point. I get the
Yeah.
point. Let's talk about the cost of litter.
Mm-hmm.
So in Louisiana, $40 million every year is spent on litter abatement, picking up litter.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Education, enforcement. $40 million a year is just spent on litter,
Yeah.
and most of it is like individual type based. It's not. Now sometimes you'll see a garbage truck going down the road and something blow out of the back
Mm-hmm.
of it, but the vast majority of that litter is individuals not taking the responsibility for what they're doing.
Right.
I mean, $40 million. That's huge.
I think a lot of that, like I said, is education, pride.
Hmm.
It's just a personal thing. You know, if you see something at Walmart, pick up the bag, get it out of the trash because get it off the ground because what's gonna happen is it's gonna blow into our waterways,
Yep.
and that's gonna cost us people who enjoy the waterways. It goes to the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, there's a lot of things that little bag is going to do. So, change it, make a difference, pick it up. You can recycle that bag.
Right.
I just found out Lowe's, you can recycle those light bulbs. You know, like, what can I do with this light bulb? I'm not supposed to put it in the trash. Lowe's takes those as well.
Okay, that's interesting. I've
Mm-hmm.
never heard that. So any light bulbs that you have, you can bring to Lowe's and they'll recycle them for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our recycle center that we have in West Monroe, I think they just announced, are they now taking glass?
Yes, they are. And they're doing some interesting things with it. They're pounding it down to sand for sandbags if we ever get any rain,
Okay.
and for flooding. And also, they use it for sand in different areas. But I just want you to know that don't think that, oh, that recycling center is making money. It's not. The
Right.
whole idea for that recycling center is to get it out of our landfills, reuse it, get people to make something else out of it. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, if somebody was thinking about going into recycling for a business or think the city of West Monroe is making a killing off doing that, I'll be willing to bet you if they're breaking even, we're winning. I doubt that it's a break even at that point, but just being able to have that and taking a little bit of initiative is all it takes just to take us that next level. Now, you mentioned our youth. Something interesting that in the email you sent to us, prepping for this, talked about an intern program. I had no idea you guys had an intern program. Can you kind of lay that out, what that looks like? And not only an intern program, but I think there's opportunities for scholarships as well.
Yeah, the intern program will be going out to area high schools, and that gives them a chance to sign it. You know, a lot of them have to do community service
Hmm.
hours. So this is a way that we provide the community service hours, and it's fun. We have our fall family fun night. They can volunteer for pickups. One of the things that they're going to do this year is they are going to educate a small group, whether it's a faith-based group or a school group or something like that. Teach them because, I mean, think about it. If the kids teach the kids, they listen to them more than they listen to
Oh,
us.
absolutely. So, just want for clarity here, the community service, not because they did something wrong, but it's for
No.
for college admission, for
Right. Yeah.
different organizations they belong
Mm-hmm.
to do require some type of community service or involvement. I think that's huge to get our youth. I've got young two young girls at home that I'm raising. I've got one that's in college right now. Um, Teaching leadership skills,
Mm-hmm.
teaching basic communication skills, I think is a little bit of a lost art. It's, our kids, I mean, I don't know how many kids or why we're not orthopedics just through the roof because every time you see these kids, their heads down, they're walking. You would think that they're going to be tripping, breaking arms and legs. But I guess
Yeah.
they've kind of halfway mastered to be able to
Mm-hmm.
to get to that point to where they're just communicating and not paying attention to what's going
Yeah.
on. But to interact with our youth in a program that's going to teach them communication skills, leadership skills, is definitely going to impact our community, wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah, and pride in our community. If I'm invested in something, if I go and pick up garbage, I don't want you putting the garbage where I just picked it up.
Right.
So it's a little community pride. It's hey, this is my area. I want to make it better for me and my kids. Hopefully, they'll stay in this area.
How many internship spots do you guys have available each year?
Well, each year it grows and it changes. So the kids who graduated last year are, that if they want to come back, they are already in the program. So I'm not sure how many spots are going to be open this year.
But it's still worth applying just
Oh,
to,
yeah.
if you don't get it this year, maybe next year,
Yeah,
it's going to be
we're
available.
talking about thousands of dollars worth of
Wow.
scholarships. I know there's two $1,000 scholarships that they give away, and we're looking at maybe one more.
It's fantastic. Things aren't getting any cheaper, so to
Mm-mm.
be able to kind of contribute to your education is yourself is definitely needed. So let's talk about the Clean Biz initiative. Our community is built on the back of small businesses. We don't
Mhm.
have big industry here. We do have a few manufacturing. We have some international companies that are here, but small business is what drives our economy. Talk to me about that clean biz and what that really, the impact that we could feel in our community with this program.
This is amazing. This gives business owners a chance to do what they're already doing, plus just a little bit more, and realizing what it's going to do for our community. The Clean Biz program is where you go, hey, I'm going to take care of my business, my storefront, my landscaping, which they're doing already, right? Or we
Mm-hmm.
hope so. I'm going to have a trash can out front of my business so people can go and put trash in there. That's really important. People will put trash in a trash can rather than on the ground. So I'll help out in Love the Boot Week, which is coming up. Anything else? It's a chance for businesses to get involved and go, I'm invested in this community. I want people to come to business. It's been proven that people will go to a business that's clean before they go to a business that's not clean. So that helps you out too.
Oh, absolutely. So if I understand the program correctly, a business can enroll in the program.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't cost them anything to
Mm-mm.
enroll.
Mm-mm.
So they can enroll in the program, and I'm sure there's going to be some qualifiers some commitments that you're going to have to
Right.
make as a business owner.
Lawn and landscaping, keeping your dumpster clean, keeping your area clean, your parking lot clean, a trash can. Those are the main things.
If there was a trash can in front of every business, there shouldn't be a reason to have trash around the business, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just that pride of ownership that we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about again. If you can take care of your square, your rectangle within that business, I would think that your neighbor is going to get the idea that, look, they're doing this and I'm not. So a little bit of that peer pressure may come
Right.
into play as well, right?
Right. And it's amazing the people who are coming forward and going, hey, I'm doing this already. I want to be, I want a little recognition because we do recognize them on our Facebook page, our Instagram, on our website. The Chambers of Commerce are also recognizing because it's a Chamber of Commerce uh, initiative.
So how does the chamber mix in with this? How do they integrate with?
It actually comes through the Chamber of Commerce, and that you don't have to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce to get in the Clean Biz. You just sign up, go to Keep Louisiana Beautiful, and go to the Clean Biz Initiative. It's really simple.
Okay, fantastic. So the library program that we talked about is free.
Mm-hmm.
The Clean Biz is free, and all
Mm-hmm.
of these are generated with the sole purpose of showing the love and respect for our community
Mm-hmm.
by just keeping it
Yeah.
clean.
And the love and respect for yourself. Nobody wants to be around dirty areas, and it's good for our economy. It's good for our community. It's good for our kids. It's good for us. It's just good.
I completely agree with that. So, if somebody wanted to get involved and, they have a group and an organization and maybe they don't have a library card and they're like, I just don't want to go to the library, but I want to have some purpose within our community to be able to help out. Where's the best place for the community to know about the different programs that Ouachita Green is offering? Because I know that it's not so like the river sweep.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up in a little while,
Yes.
and then you guys have had the household hazardous chemical thing. I'll talk about that in
Yeah.
just a minute. Where would they go to find out the information of upcoming things if they want to participate and get involved?
WashitaGreen.org, or you can always call me 355-5622. It's the number to call.
Yeah, so let's talk about the hazardous waste. So I've heard that the expense on that is astronomical,
Oh, yes.
and we've had some local corporations really step up to the plate to be
Mm-hmm.
able to offer that. I mean, I've got a can of oil, or not a can, I've got a bucket of oil that is sitting in my carport because I'm not going to dump it out in my yard, my ditch, or my trash.
Right.
I don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed the last one
Right.
that was out there. But talk to us about when, I think it's, I don't know how many years, but it's been every year for several
Mm-hmm.
years that Ouachita Green has put it on, in part sponsored by these corporations. So tell us a little bit about that.
It's the household hazardous waste. It happens every March, and Drax has been a huge sponsor. Waste Connections has been a huge sponsor. There are so many people in our community that go, yeah, we want to get rid of this stuff. The tires, paint. I have people call me just about every other day and go, hey, I have this paint. What do I do with it? Well, we only have that once a year, but we have America Recycles Day coming up in November of every year. And that's where you can bring everything except the liquid stuff.
Okay.
And that's happening at the Civic Center. Now, the household hazardous waste, which is everything plus the icky stuff, happens in November. So every year, I know a lot of businesses have old printers, old computers,
Sure.
old monitors. That's where you can bring those. And it's absolutely free. But when we say it cuts off at 1 o'clock, we can't go to 1:30 because we'll
Right.
be there all day.
Sure.
So if you're in line by whatever the cutoff time is, you get to, drop your stuff off. And it's free to
So,
you.
sure, yeah, but it's very costly, it's
Mm-hmm.
expensive, and it's just a
Mm-hmm.
huge benefit for our area. Something else I'd like for people to understand is that we do have hazardous materials, and it is important that that stuff gets disposed of the correct way. And even prescription drugs.
Mm-hmm.
There's things that we should not be throwing away in the normal trash, and I just want people to be aware of that. If there's any doubt, should they be able to throw it away? Can they call you at Ouachita
Sure.
Green and just ask the question? Is it okay for me to continue to dispose of this normal?
Yeah, just call us. We'll be glad to help you out. Also, if you have medications, you can take them to the sheriff's department, state police, local police. And I know I went and disposed of something the other day for my mom at the West Monroe Police Department. You just walk in, it's in their foyer, there's this big box, and you put it in there, you dump it, and you walk away. No questions, no ID, nothing.
So any of the medication, the old medication, which
Mm-hmm.
does not need to end up in our landfills,
Mm-hmm.
you can go to any of the police station. But we know for sure that West Monroe in their lobby,
Yeah.
they have a box, a receptacle that's there that's
Mm-hmm.
just for
Yeah.
medications. You
It's
can
like
drop
when you put your library books and you put them in there and you can't reach your hand back in there
Mhm.
and get anything.
Sure.
That's what it is.
Awesome. I didn't know that. Learned
Mhm.
something new today.
Yeah.
Learned something new. Sheila, hey, thank you so much for being able to come in and share about, the big impact that Ouachita Green's having, but the small impact on individuals. If we
Mhm.
just get out and be able to take action, we can have a better community. We can be more beautiful.
Mhm.
We can be in a better position to attract business.
You can be the difference. Pride in our community, businesses in our community, a great place for our kids to learn and grow and stay. We were talking to the kids about if everybody has 4 pounds of trash and 1 pound and one part of that goes into your park. and everybody who goes to the park has a little piece of trash, nobody's going to want to go to the park
Right.
anymore, or your home or your business. So everybody plays a part.
Now I know our code enforcement within the parish and within the city, they're overworked just like any
Yes.
other, public servant that we have out there. There's just never enough to go around. But if somebody sees litter happening,
Mhm.
how involved is our local law enforcement about trying to aggressively follow up with, reports of litter?
They are working so hard. Both of the cities and the parish, they are working really hard. And each week, I know I talked to one code enforcement director the other day. They personally pick up probably 20 bags of litter every week. So, and they're, if you see somebody who has old junk cars, those are the types of
Yeah,
things. Call the code enforcement. We don't want to, we want to put them out of a job.
sure.
We want our community to look better, but they need to know. And they are working really hard. So if you call, they're taking care of business, but it's a long process.
hmm
So if everybody does their part,
If we hit it in the beginning, we don't have
mm-hmm,
to worry about those things. I
mm-hmm,
know as a kid growing up, and I think it still happens, you would see the sheriff's department would have inmates on the side of the road picking up trash,
mm-hmm.
and uh, I think a lot of people think that, well, I mean, why not get more inmates picking out trash? I mean, let's not have more inmates out in our public picking up
Yeah.
trash. Let's just prevent the problem before it even gets started.
Right. It's just like your kids. Your kids make their room a mess. Get in there and teach them to clean it up. And then every day, hey, let's put away our toys before we go to bed. Hey, let's pick up the trash before it becomes a big problem. It's really simple. And I was talking to a group of kids the other day, and I was like, and who's responsible for picking up this trash? And one of the kids, probably like 8, said, inmates. And I was like, oh,
No.
let's go back here. So they do see inmates picking up the trash, and they do see people from Ouachita Green participating in picking up trash, but it's a personal thing,
hmm
one person at a time.
And one person can make a
Mm-hmm.
difference. So here's my key takeaways for today is that everybody just doing your part can make a huge impact. Um, if you see trash and you walk by it, pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put things in the bed of your truck that could ever potentially blow out. Put it in the cab, throw it away when you get home. And if you see someone littering or dumping, because I know we have a problem still in our rural
Oh,
areas
yeah.
where, and the problem got a little bit bigger when you just couldn't take things directly to the dump free
Mm-hmm.
anymore for household type trash. I mean, it's still a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if you see somebody doing it, you got to take action. It's your community,
Yeah.
and it's your choice. It's kind of like, would you let somebody sit there and throw things out on your lawn? If
Right.
you wouldn't allow that to happen, if you see it happening someplace else, say something about it. So, Sheila Kay, thank you for taking the time to share with us what Ouachita Green does for our community. And I look forward to how this Ouachita Green is going to continue to grow. And I just love the impact that you guys are making. And we are behind you guys 100%.
Thanks, Ouachita Green and the volunteers. That's what it's all about. People doing their part.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch or listen to this podcast. We really appreciate your involvement. Please leave us a comment, or even better yet, subscribe to this podcast and hit that notification bell so that you can be alerted for every new episode when it hits.